So the instructions say write the equation, because I did not type that correctly. Write the equation of the line or equation of the line in slope-intercept form. What is slope-intercept form again? Refresh me. Yeah, what is slope-intercept form? Why? What is the equation? What we were dealing with all that. Yep, good job, Isaiah. Y equals mx plus b. So it wants us to write the equation of the line in this form. So I know that I'm going to have a y equals mx plus b equation. And this one, they already give it to me, so it's pretty simple. I'm just going to plug these in. So my equation is y equals m negative 2, x plus b, which is a negative 8. So I can do plus negative 8, or I can do y equals 2x minus 8. If it makes it easier for you, you can also go y equals blank x plus blank, and then just fill it in. So your slope is negative 2, and your y is negative 8. Whatever is easier for you. I like to just kind of do it as I go. So y equals negative 2x plus negative 8. So any of these is correct. Now you guys practice this one on your own. Your slope is 1/2 and your y-intercept is negative 1. So in the chat, type your answer in as y equals mx plus b, but changing the m and the b given this information. Yes. Good job, ladies. Riley, you just forgot your x, but other than that, it was correct. So my equation y equals mx plus b, I'm going to substitute in my m and my b. So y equals blank x plus blank. So my slope is 1/2. So I'm just going to put that in where m would be because my slope is m. And then for my y-intercept, it's negative 1. So I'm going to put that in where b is. And once again, I can leave it like this, or I can write it as y equals 1/2 x minus 1. So that is, I think, the first maybe 8 problems on the assignment is doing this. So writing an equation in slope-intercept form given the slope and the y-intercept. Okay. I'm going to bump it up a difficulty level here, but I believe in you guys. It's just taking what we've learned so far and putting it all together. So write the equation of the line in slope-intercept form given these 2 points. So what can I do to find slope? Well, I can do what we did for our warm-up today, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So step number 1 is to find the slope. So for me, it makes it easier to label them. So x1, y1, x2, y2. I just do this because it makes it easier for me to visually see it. Okay, so now I'm going to take these and plug them in. So y2 is negative 2, and y1 is 2. And then my x2 is 3, and my x1 is 1. Negative 2 subtract 2 gives me negative 4. 3 minus 1 gives me 2. Negative 4 divided by 2 gives me a negative 2. Okay, so I found slope. So I found what my m is. So I have y equals negative 2x, but now I need the b. So how am I going to find b given just these points? So what you can do, there's two options. You can graph this and see where it crosses the y-intercept, or you can take an ordered pair and plug it into your equation and solve for b. So I'm going to show you how to plug it into the equation and solve for b. So step 2 is to find my y-intercept by plugging in x and y. Okay, so I have y equals negative 2x plus b. So I'm going to use this first ordered pair just because I like these numbers better. I don't have to deal with a negative like I would here. So I'm going to take this equation, y equals negative 2x plus b, and plug in 1 and 2, 1 for x, 2 for y. Now I'm just left with b, so I'm going to solve. Negative 2 times 2 gives me negative 2. Bring down my 2 plus b. Now I'm going to move the 2 over to the other side to get b by itself. 2 plus 2 gives me 4. These will cancel, and I'm left with b. So b equals 4. So now I can come back to this equation and plug in 4 for b. So I have y equals negative 2x plus 4 as my equation. So I know that's a lot of steps. I like to break it down by just doing like one step at a time. Don't overwhelm yourself. So step 1, find slope. Step 2, find the y-intercept, and then put it all together. So right here I found what my m was. M was negative 2. Right here I found what my b was 4. And then basically it's just doing what I did right here where I had my m, my m and my b. Just plugging it into the equation. So we're going to do this. I'm going to give you guys a practice problem now, but we're going to break it up into parts. So for this first part, I want you to just find slope. So number 1, find slope. So I'm going to give you guys about 1 to 2 minutes to find slope, and then we'll come back and do the second step. So you have 1 minute to find slope now. Okay, so did anybody find slope? Put it in the chat. Three. Yes, you guys are correct. For those of you that did not find it, I will show you how we did find it. So once again, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. x1, y1, x2, y2. Okay, So I'm going to do 10 minus 4 all over 3 minus 1. So 10 minus 4 gives me 6, 3 minus 1 gives me 2, and then 6 divided by 2 gives me 3. Okay, so I found my slope. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put that into my equation. So my equation doesn't have anything in it yet, so it'll look a little like this. So I have my slope, which goes in front of the x. So I'm going to plug that in. Now I'm missing b. So I'm going to solve for b by plugging in an ordered pair into this equation. So step 2 is to find b by plugging in an ordered pair. Okay, so which one should I do? Should I do ordered pair 1 or ordered pair 2? Well, you guys are going to do it, but 1. Okay, so I want you guys to plug in 1 and 4 into this equation. I'm going to give you 2 minutes to do that. And then type your answer in the chat. Oops. Okay, so what did anyone get for what b equals? I have b equals 1. Did anyone get anything different than Jasmine's 1? Okay, so I'm going to solve. So I plugged in my y and I plugged in my x. So 3 times 1 gives me 3. Nothing happened to my 4 and my b, so they come down. Now I'm going to move 3 to the other side to get b by itself. So I'm going to subtract 3 from both sides. 4 minus 3 gives me 1. These 3's cancel, and my b comes down. So now I have y equals 3x plus 1 as my final answer. Ta-da! They're not as hard when you break them up into 2 steps. It looks overwhelming, but just know that if you break it up, it makes it a little bit easier. Okay, we have 2 more examples. Next, we're going to write the equation of the line in slope-intercept form given a graph. So what you can do here is like we did before and found slope on a graph. You can pick 2 points. And find your slope. So rise over run. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3. So my slope is 5 over 3 or 5/3. And my y-intercept is where it crosses the y-axis. So it crosses the y-axis at -4. And then I just take these and plug them into my equation. So y equals 5/3 x minus 4. Or if you don't like doing that, you can take the points. So right here I have 1, -3. And then right here I have 4, 2. And you can do what we did in the previous example by finding the slope by using the equation for slope and then plugging in to find your y-intercept if you would like to do it that way. Okay? Last one to try this one on your own. So your points, I would pick like right here and right here. So rise over run, and then where it crosses the y-intercept. So you should have an equation of y equals blank x plus b, or plus your y-intercept. So in the chat, tell me what your answer to this equation would be. Okay, so I just launched a poll for this. So click which answer you think is correct for what the equation of this line is. Is it y equals 1x minus 4 or y equals -1x minus 4? Okay, so this is kind of a tricky one. So when we're looking at it, remember the difference between a positive and a negative slope. So this one, a positive slope is like this, and a negative slope is like this. Positive is because it rises, negative is because it falls. So would this be negative or a positive slope? This would be a negative slope. So you should have a negative right here. -1, because it rises 1, it goes 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. But it's falling, so it should be negative. And then where does it cross the y-axis? Once again at -4. So be careful when you're doing these equations to pick positive and negative slopes, because that can go from giving you the right answer to the wrong answer. So once again, I wanted to give you Mr. Slopey. Ooh, that was a terrible circle. Not much better, but oh well. Okay, so I have a positive slope and a negative slope for his eyebrows. I have no slope for his nose and a 0 slope for his mouth. So positive slope, negative slope, no slope, and 0 slope. Okay, so I have assigned 4.2 in the Google Classroom. We are almost out of time, unfortunately, but we will have time to work on it on